Welcome back to a Little R&R. Join Russ Johns and Ronald Earl Wilsher as they discuss life, liberty, and all things extraordinary. Untapped, uncensored, and unabridged.
Back in the studio for Little R&R. Uncensored.
You just thought of that. That was very good, Russ.
Hey, off the cuff, you know? It's amazing what can happen between episodes. You just get a little bit of, a little spark of, a little flitter of imagination and take off with it.
Inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration. Let me ask you a question. How many people do you know that have an idea, a thought, and never do anything about it?
Well, I know one, me.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of thoughts that I wish I would have taken and done something with, but
the $1 million idea that
never showed up.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll tell you real quick the story about that. I used to have. We'll say that till later. But
okay.
My point is that.
So stay tuned for later.
For that because we're going to talk about something else in this segment. But the bottom line is that to have a good thought, you must have a lot of thoughts. But one thing I've learned, and I learned this from a productivity expert, David Allen.
Yep.
I think it's davidallen.com.
Yep.
He says
GTD.
And what is GTD?
Getting things done.
Getting things done.
Uh-huh.
He said, and one thing I learned from him is constantly have a way to record your thoughts. Because what happens is when you record and write everything down, not only do you remember them, obviously, because you've got them written down, you don't forget them,
right.
But it frees your mind to be more productive.
Yeah, one of the things is that allows you to sleep better is if you drop it out of your head, get it on paper.
Right, and you don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about it. That allows creativity to take place.
Oh, and it's brilliant. I love it.
It's so simple, yet it's so powerful. And the focus and the thoughts we want to expand on in this episode today is around securing your personal brand and your personal name online. You know, the internet, the interwebs,
the Al Gore thingy.
Yeah, the Al Gore thingy is. I think it's catching on. I'm not really sure yet. However, I did take the time to register russjohns.com. You have
RonaldWilsher.com and about 11 other different versions.
Yeah.
I did have at one time almost 400 .coms. I got help for my addiction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down to about 150. But I still suggest the most valuable piece of digital real estate you'll ever own is your name as your .com.
Yep.
Think about this. Think of any famous person, Russ.
Unless you're thinking about changing your name.
Well, but even then
you still have to have two.
Well, and what you do, and that happens with women sometimes that I coach and consult.
Uh-huh.
But what you do, if you change it, just register the new one and forward it into the old one.
So you still have the .com.
So you still have it. But if you think of anybody famous, what is their .com?
It's their name.
It's their name. What is the most valuable, the most beautiful, not valuable, but the most beautiful sound in the world to you or anybody?
It's your name.
It's your name. So people always, I registered my name back in 2000. I didn't even know June of 2000. Didn't even know what I was going to do with it.
Right.
I heard Al Gore had invented this little thingy, the interweb. Man, I need my name as a .com. Well, 13 years later, I've built literally an empire that pays me 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, based on my psychosis.
Yeah.
That this online platform, RonaldWilsher.com. So think about it. If you're in real estate, if you're in insurance sales, if you're in I don't care what.
Any kind of business requires you to have a conversation to make money.
That pretty well covers them all, right?
That's the way I would consider it. That's the bucket I put it in, right?
Right. And so you have your name.com, because I always tell people, what is your best asset in business? I know they go, oh, we do this, we do that. No, your best asset is you. And so what happens is, Russ, whether you realize this or not, and I know you do, but a lot of people don't, when you meet somebody at a networking event or you start a conversation with somebody, if they want to do business with you, do you know what they're doing with your personal name? They're Googling it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I tell people, number one, if you have your .com, your name is your .com, it increases your visibility online and your Google presence. But I tell people, if you really knew how much business you were losing by people Googling your name, you would probably cry. So getyourname as a .com. It's very simple. If you want to know how to do it, you can call either me or Russ. We'll walk you through it. We have different ways to do it. Excuse me. It's real easy.
Yep.
And then once you get that done, that's the basis of your whole platform online.
Well, it's easy because we've allowed it to be easy.
Right.
Not everybody, and it hasn't been that way forever. Probably 2002 when you registered your name, it's probably not the same process as it is today.
Yeah, it was actually 2000, and I'm like, what am I even going to do with this? I didn't even know what I was going to do with it, but I just thought it'd be cool, ronaldwilsher.com, and basically all I had was this one-page site. It had my name on it, a picture of my car overlooking my pool, and dream big. That's all it had on it. And
so that's the original landing page.
That's the original landing page.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's built. I've built it into a literally an online empire, and it's something that I teach other people how to do, and it's based on your personality.
Yeah.
You know, because we'll talk about that later. But that's your competitive advantage in the content war is your personality. See,
Yeah.
and it all starts with your name.
If you're going to dream, you might as well dream big. So get your domain, get started, pick up the phone, give us a call, give us a shout. How do they get a hold of you?
RonaldWilsher.com, 281-395-1000. RussJohns.com. I don't know your phone number, but you're
832-713-7440.
There you go.
There you go.
And like I say, start a conversation, ask, and then once you have that, then you can expand in so many different directions online because your name, you probably won't change it.
Right.
And we talk about real quick, if you're married and something happens and, you change your name, you can still register your new name and forward your old one into your new one. So you can still, the whole goal, what's the whole goal here? Seth Godin talks about it, SethGodin.com. Second email I read every morning is to build your tribe and make it easy for people to get a hold of you. If you're constantly changing your email because you're changing jobs or you're changing things,
right,
you always cut the rope with your tribe. That's not a good thing.
No.
I mean, when I was in real estate, I had Ronald.Wilsher at the name of the company.com that I worked for, but you know what I had underneath it? Ronald at ronaldwilsher.com. And today, I still have a huge following from that company in that industry because of Ronald at ronaldwilsher.com. It never changes.
Yeah.
See? So once you set that up, it makes it simple for you.
And just some of these simple things that we're going to be talking about over time is going to be get it set up, get it established, create an email that's going to be following you for the rest of your life. AOL,
Gmail,
Earthlink, all of these other
Comcast, David Bamberg.
If you're in business, people don't always take you seriously if you have a Gmail account, even though Gmail is completely legitimate, and I'm a fan of Gmail, and we're going to be talking about Gmail over time, and the fact that you can have russjohns.com, and it's simple to remember, easy to access.
Anything you ever printed on now never becomes obsolete.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's really a very, very important first step to building a platform and building your online presence.
It's the same along the same lines as Einstein, Steve Jobs, all of these folks did something very simplified. They simplified their life. They wore wardrobes where they didn't have to think about what am I going to wear today. Steve Jobs wore the turtleneck, the black turtleneck.
With jeans. I loved it.
Ever.
I didn't know that's why he did it. That saved
Einstein,
brain power.
Saved
brain power.
Do not think about the minutia. Eliminate it from your life.
Use that emotional energy in different places.
Absolutely.
So Johnny Cash, the man in black, he always wore black.
He didn't have to think about
that
what
was
he's
his
going to wear.
brand. That's a great point. I never really thought about that.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're gonna take a pause, take a little break here, and then we're gonna be right back, and we're gonna continue this conversation. So, don't go away.
Yay.
Hey everyone, it's Russ Johns here, and thank you so much for being with us on the podcast today. Ronald Earl Wilsher and I will entertain, educate, and inform you about things you need to know as you're building your personal brand. Stay tuned and don't go away. That's like the blind leading the blind.
The only thing worse than the blind leading the blind?
Is the deaf leading the...
No, the blonde leading the blind. I told that to Catherine. I made it up. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Did she laugh?
Well, she said that wasn't very funny, but I said, how could it not be funny? I laughed. It was funny to one person.
Somebody. 1 out of 2 people will laugh at this joke.
That's a 50% laugh rate. That's pretty good.
We're gonna record this so we have outtakes.
We should.
Yeah,
I'm dead serious.
I am. So am I. We're recording. All right. Hey, we're having a blast here. Little R&R, unleashed, uncensored, and
a new word already.
Ron and Russ here. We're gonna be doing a lot of talking about how you can improve your life online, unleash your brand, and motivate others to start a conversation with you.
Attract and engage is better than chase and convince. That's one of my mantras.
Is that a proven theory?
I'm living proof that it works, yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Because think
I
about
followed
this.
you. I'm not a stalker, though.
Well, because I think I was full at the time, wasn't I? Are you on the waiting
list? I think
list?
you were sleeping. It's like I was taking a nap here in the chair. This guy walks up to me, and all of a sudden, hey. And then next thing you know, we're on a podcast.
Next thing you know, Jed's a millionaire.
Yeah. So we want to go back. Before the break, we were talking about the necessity, the requirement, the interest in the information that you can achieve as a result of having a online URL, an online presence that is so simple to remember because it's on your driver's license. It's somebody, when somebody calls you and they ask for somebody and it's your name, they say, hey, Russ, is Russ Johns there? I can say yes. Go to www.russjohns.com.
Well, actually, though, you don't need the www anymore, right?
No, that's a trend. They call that there's a name for that you don't need to name. You can shorten it because it's so common that you don't have to say it anymore.
Because you're so famous, Russ. That's why. I thought you were the one that started it.
Well, I was around long before www.
Well, you were back in the HTTP colon.
Yes. / dot.
A little
198, 192.
Actually typed in the
IP address.
No, Russ, as a little side note, Tim Berners-Lee is actually the guy that developed the protocols that is the modern-day Internet and Vicente Cerf.
Uh-huh.
But they asked him one time, if you could go back and do something different, and I always like these questions.
Yeah.
They said, what would you do different? He goes, I wouldn't have required the HTTP www. I said, look at all the keystrokes that would have saved. But, now all the browsers now, you don't have to use it anymore.
Right.
So, but I thought that was kind of unique, that he said, I wouldn't have required that HTTP www.
Well, it's an interesting story along the same lines is how they came to evolve the @ symbol. They just used it on the keyboard.
Right.
Just happened to be, let's pick this.
As we go, make it up as we go, right?
Make it up as we go.
So
and that's the point. That's the entire observation that we're living through. We're living proof that you can learn along the way and you can evolve and change and learn a little bit every day so you're a little better off than you were yesterday and make a difference every single day.
And add it up, right? It adds up, right? So
and don't be surprised at the end of the year that you know more than you did a year ago. I mean, it's common knowledge that if you continue to learn, you continue to grow. When you stop learning is when you grow old.
Right. And, Zig Ziglar's, I think, was credited as saying, you'll be the same person a year from now as you are today, except for 2 things. 1, the people you meet, and 2, the books you read. And so, as you know, Russ, I do most of my reading online.
Yeah.
But still, it doesn't matter. Read, learn, increase your personal brand equity. And once you start building that brand equity, guess what? Your price goes up. See? Yeah. That's what has happened in my business.
It's not even price, it's value.
Well, exactly. And I think that is a good point. Value is much more valuable than price, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because it's value is whatever it's worth to somebody, right? And so people look at, well, that car's not worth $120,000. Well, the value to it is that to a lot of people because they sell it, right?
Yes.
That house is not worth $2.8 million. Well,
yeah.
to that person it was.
I can buy a wallet for $2 or get an Armani for $400.
Right. Well, what is that? It's brand.
It's brand.
And
what does brand do? Armani. You think he has his own domain?
Well,
I just say it.
Think about this, Russ. It's not Armani. It's going to be, hey, is that a Russ Johns you're carrying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that a David Armani? Or what's his first name?
I have no idea.
But it's last name Armani.
It's kind of like Prince. He only needs one name.
Elvis. Yeah.
But the point is get your domain, secure your real estate, because it will never be available again.
Right.
And if your domain is taken, what are some tips that users
Couple of tips. Number one, put your middle name. If you don't like your middle name, put your middle initial.
Yeah.
If you don't have a middle name, make what? No. Do Mr. at the beginning. Put the at the beginning. Yeah. I mean, there's several options. Try not to use a dash.
A hyphenated or anything like that.
Yeah, because most people don't type in dashes.
And it's
hard to remember.
It's like the child that has a unique spelling in their name that you have to correct everybody your entire life.
Right.
Make it simple.
Well, and here's another good thing.
The one thing I used and I have a domain, I am RussellJohns.com.
So it's the letter I, the letter M?
No, I-A-M.
Oh, okay.
RussellJohns.com.
Right. You can do, there's several different variations.
However, get something in the real estate that you can actually achieve results with. Get your email settled in, get it established.
So it doesn't change. And make sure that you take the time to cultivate that and share it with others. Right.
If you don't get it out there, you don't put it out in the universe, nothing happens.
Right. And then we're going to talk about, or is it time to take a break?
Well, we're going to take a break here, and we're going to be talking about what to do with that domain. Now that you have an email, the next step in the equation is going to be building an email list.
Not called a database. Database is boring, non-attractive.
No. And we need to talk about some of the reasons that people need an email list, because there's a lot of people that, why do I need that?
Well, you don't really need it if you don't want to make money, if you don't want to add value to the world. If you want to sleep all day, then you really don't need an email list.
But I have a box of business cards that I can just pick up a card anytime, and if I want to call somebody, I can do that. There's a lot of ways I can communicate.
Right. Well, we're going to show you the best way to do it.
We're going to show you the best way and the viable way that you can build on that equation and make sure that you're making a difference. You're making an impact in somebody's life, and what it can do to you or for you.
And for the world.
Yeah.
You want to change the world? Start with changing yourself first.
Mother Teresa said, fix one person at a time.
Right.
Yeah. That's probably not her exact quote.
Close enough.
The idea is, one conversation at a time is enough.
Right. Start a conversation. And we're going to be talking about that, too, starting a conversation and the value of it.
Yeah. And the results you're going to expect. So thank you for being here. We're going to join us for the next episode of Little R&R, Uncensored, Unleashed. And we love to share great information with you, so get involved. Find us on RonaldWilsher.com.
Or RussJohns.com.
And you don't even have to worry about the www.
Hey, you learned something.
Yeah.
You're listening.
I am listening. I am paying attention. So thanks for being here, folks. We'll be right back.